So what's up guys, it's MC here, and if you want to enter my end of the month giveaway, just make sure you leave a like on the video, just make sure you comment down below which gift card you want and your platform, for example Xbox and your gamertag, and then just make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell to never miss when I do other free giveaways. So what is up guys, it's MC here, and in today's video I'm going to be showing you guys some signs that HEROBRINE might be in your world. Stay tuned to find out.
So many pieces all back together now. What's your vision?
Now we all know that HEROBRINE is one of the creepiest Minecraft characters to exist in Minecraft's game. Whether or not he exists, that's up to you. But I'm going to be sharing with you guys a lot of reasons that might show you if HEROBRINE is in your world or not. So without further ado guys, let's get into this. Now this is one of the first things that show that HEROBRINE might just be in your world, is trees without any leaves. Now it may just look like blocks of wood just placed upwards, but these are actually trees without any leaves. Now people do say that this could be caused by an actual forest fire. So for example, if there is lava nearby, if there was lava nearby, maybe the trees caught on fire, and then maybe possibly the trees caught on fire and then burned off all the leaves. But what does happen in a real forest fire in Minecraft, if you do know about fires in Minecraft, what does happen is that when the trees actually burn, the entire tree burns as well. So the wood doesn't just get left behind, the wood will burn as well, because wood does burn. So that's why this here is a sure sign that HEROBRINE definitely might be in your world, because it's not just the leaves that burn, it's the wood that would burn as well, because I've done fires before in Minecraft and it leaves like random blocks floating in the air. So this is definitely a sign of HEROBRINE being in your world. Now this sign here is a for sure sign that HEROBRINE is definitely in your world. This is the redstone torches. The redstone torches for some reason are one of the most notorious signs that HEROBRINE has managed to somehow enter your world. Now the reason why redstone torches is simply because redstone torches are really creepy. You wouldn't really use redstone torches to light a cave. You would never normally use them unless you're building a rail cart, or unless you're actually actually building a redstone contraption, which is why the redstone torches are one of the most creepy and one of the most signifying things that HEROBRINE is in your world. These redstone torches can sometimes be placed in like a single file along a wall, or can sometimes be randomly scattered amongst a cave, or when you're in a mine shaft. For example, if you've been mining for a very long time and you've done a strip mine, if you come across redstone torches in your strip mine, then it's a sure sign that HEROBRINE has possibly entered your game. I'm not sure about the origins of these redstone torches, but I'm 100% sure that redstone torches are a sure sign that HEROBRINE is your world. If you've ever seen redstone torches that you've never placed, not just in caves, they could be in your house or somewhere else. If for example they're on like a tree, or for example behind a house, or maybe just on the side of a cliff, then that also is another time that HEROBRINE is in your world. That's why it's good to make sure that if you ever see these anywhere in your world besides places that you actually place them, then HEROBRINE has been a large possibility that he's been in your world. Now this is something that I've actually come across myself. This is actually going to be the actual floating items. Now items that you do see floating is for sure a sign of HEROBRINE on your world. Now this is something that I've seen increasingly happen on the HEROBRINE seed. I use the HEROBRINE seed to try and find HEROBRINE a lot of times, or to try and find signs that HEROBRINE does exist in Minecraft, and a lot of the times, perhaps 80% of the times, or maybe 20% of the times, like I do join the world and then I'll see random items just floating about. These items range from pretty much anything. So for example, it could be a flower just floating, it could be an item like a block of wood just floating. It won't be wall floating, because if you do see wall floating, it just means that some walls have been nearby and attacked. But if you do see items like perhaps seeds, perhaps the leaves just floating, perhaps a flower. Once I did join a biome and I saw a bunch of flowers just floating around, and it was the weirdest thing I'd ever seen, because I just joined the world and it wouldn't make sense. Like, how would flowers get destroyed? What can destroy flowers? It just doesn't make sense. So I know sometimes villagers can leave seeds and stuff like that, but if you aren't near a village, and if you aren't near anywhere where players are, and if players haven't been there nearby, then seriously, Herobrine might have just been in your world and possibly, you know, somehow left these items as a clue that he has been in your world and has existed there. It's one of the really creepiest ones because it's something that, you know, I've actually personally experienced. And yeah, just sometimes if you do spawn a world, and this is how you can experience it, sometimes just randomly load an Xbox, you know, creative world. I'm not sure if you just saw that sheep out there, which is just kind of creepy. If you see, like, if you just really like load a world quickly and then just quickly fly around, and then you might be able to see like signs that Herobrine has shortly been in your world, or, you know, somehow still in that world. Now this sign is really weird because this has happened to me quite a few times, and I wasn't sure if people were trolling, or you know, something was random, you know, was going on in my world. If things in your world start to randomly catch fire, then there's a high possibility that Herobrine might have been angry with you, might have tried to, you know, destroy your world or something, and might have just started to put things on fire. So if you see things, you know, being caught on fire, and one thing is that things kind of catch on fire naturally, like in some Minecraft worlds there are, you know, spots of lava. So for example, there might be some lava around here, and then there might be a tree that spawns very close to the ground, like that one right there. And then for example, you know, of course, because if lava's right next to a tree, which is a flammable source, it can quickly, you know, become a light. But if this, you know, isn't the case, and if there isn't any lava nearby, and if, you know, that stuff isn't the case, and you just see, you know, houses being caught on fire, trees being caught on fire, animals just on fire, then, you know, randomly as well, then there's quite a high chance that Herobrine is possibly angry with you or about to do something that's really dangerous, and, you know, he's definitely, almost certainly, in your world. Either that, someone might be trolling you, but if you are in the world and you do play alone, then you know, it's a very high possibility that Herobrine could most certainly be in your world. Now what we have here is definitely one of the creepiest things that you will find in Minecraft. Now if you do find this in your world, it's okay to freak out, because this is a Herobrine shrine. Now what this is something that, you know, it's a partially built Herobrine shrine / Herobrine spawner. And if you didn't know, this is the combination of blocks between, you know, netherrack, golden blocks and fire that actually managed to summon and spawn Herobrine in Minecraft editions as we know it. So if you do come across this, if you do come across anything that looks like this, for example, it could have, you know, gold netherrack fire, and then there could also be some torches around it. It could also be golden block, a diamond block, and for example a netherrack on it, and it could have some also redstone torches around it, like in a square fashion. Then that is most likely a Herobrine spawner or a Herobrine shrine, or maybe someone built that in your world to, you know, try and summon Herobrine. But if you see one like this in your world, then that means it was definitely placed there by a Herobrine, and Herobrine is possibly, almost certainly, going to be doing stuff or just messing around in your world. Now this one is very creepy, because this one is just absolutely insane. This one is if you find random signs in your world. So random signs in your world do not, you know, they don't appear normally. A random sign always has to be placed by a player or an entity of the game. So if you do see random signs in your world, what will they say? What will these signs, you know, possibly have on them? Sometimes the signs can be empty. Sometimes these signs will contain messages. For example, they might say, "Get out of my world. You have been warned. You know, be very careful. You don't know what you're playing with." And sometimes what people tend to do, and this is what can actually happen, I've seen it happen quite a few times, but it's very rare, people sometimes leave questions on these signs. So what they'll do is they'll get a sign, they'll place it down right next to their home, and they'll go into their home, they'll go and sleep. Then when they wake up, the sign has responded. So they'll leave a sign, they'll leave something on the sign, for example, you know, "Are you in my world?" Then they'll go to sleep. Then when they wake up, by the time they've waken up, the sign has actually had a message placed on it, which, if you ask me, is very creepy, and is almost definitely a sign that Herobrine is in your world. So Usually these signs are placed down on the ground and are rarely ever placed on the side of the blocks, like for example side of the trees, where, because I don't know why, but that's just what I've tend to seen. And yeah, they're just usually placed on the side of things. Well, not usually placed on the side of things, actually placed on the actual ground with a stick coming out of it. So if you see one on the side of a wall, it's usually not real, but if you see one on the ground, then it's more likely than if not to be real and legitimate. So just be wary out there. Now this one here is by far the creepiest one, because before doing my research on this video, I had no idea that this was a sign that Herobrine was in your world. So this sign is actually if you hear a door that you've placed down being used by someone. So for example, if you have a house, and if you built a small little house, and if you go into the house and maybe you're going downstairs, you're mining or whatever, and then for example if you hear this sound, if you just manage to hear that and no one else is in your world, and no one else that of, like there aren't any villagers about, there aren't any other players that of in the world, then it's for sure a sign that Herobrine has been in your world. Now this one is especially creepy because I've been in my survival world a bunch of times. Now I've heard my door going like this plenty of times, and when I've come downstairs I've seen nothing. And I mean, guys, this is creepy because when I was researching this, I just thought that hearing that sound is normal in Minecraft. I know. Maybe you're thinking, well, why would that be normal? Why would hearing the door sound be normal? It's not, guys. It's a sign that there's an other entity in your world. It could be Herobrine, it could be entity 303, but I'll go into that in another video. But yeah, Herobrine, if you hear this, guys, if you built a house or like a cave and you hear that down in the mine shafts and there isn't anything there, because as far as I know, zombies, they can't walk through it, they can't do some of that stuff, they can only break down doors and stuff like that. It's really creepy, guys. Just make sure that you run to the door as fast as possible, or I'm not even sure what you're supposed to do in that scenario, but it's for sure sign that Herobrine is in your world. So now this is one of the last signs because it's one of the rarest signs that there is. This is if you see glowstone towers in your world. Now it's so rare because glowstone is something that isn't even in the original Minecraft dimension. You have to go to the nether portal, you have to go to the nether dimension in order to see it. So in order to get some glowstone dust to create some actual glowstone blocks, which is why if you see a glowstone tower or glowstone towers in your world, then by sure Herobrine has visited your world or is definitely in your world. Now it's creepy because it's something that is so rare, and it's one of the oldest signs of Herobrine, meaning that if you see this in your world and you didn't place it down, it's not like it can randomly spawn, because netherrack, but glowstone doesn't even spawn naturally in this dimension, like I said before. So even if it was there, it would definitely have to be placed by someone. So the game couldn't by happen spawn it in this dimension, or that would be either a huge bug or one of the huge signs that Herobrine is existed in your world, or is in your world and has plans to do something to you in your world. Now the last way to see if Herobrine is your world is if you see random sand wells. So if you see random sand wells, like the wells you get in a village, like if you see random sand wells, and I have seen this before, this is something that I have seen, it's possibly a sign that Herobrine is in your world. Now I do want to start by saying that if you have ever seen Herobrine in your world, I'd love to know your stories, your sightings and everything down in the comment section. If you have a world where you think Herobrine might be lurking or Herobrine might have visited, I'd be happy to come and check it out. Just make sure you message me. My gamertag is in the description. But guys, I want to know what you guys think about Herobrine. Have you seen any of these signs? Have you ever seen Herobrine in your world? Have you been in Herobrine's world? Have you tried out the Herobrine seed? Herobrine seed is by far one of the creepiest seeds, guys, and you know, you can use it. I made a video on it the other day. It is so creepy, guys. I've explored it in title update 30, title update 40, all the way now to title update, you know, 55 or 56 that we are on the Xbox One, and I've explored it every single update. You can check my old videos where I show you how the world changes update after update. It gets spookier, it changes. It's just so weird, guys. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this. It's been Drews MC. Do not forget to leave a like, do not forget to subscribe, and until the next time, make sure you guys stay safe out there, because Herobrine might be coming.